Hey guys, this is Zabermoul with TGN. Today we're on the PTR and we're going to talk about the Death Knight changes for patch 4.2. Keep in mind that some of these changes might not even hit live servers. Everything is subject to change here. I'm going to give you my point of view about the whole thing as well, and we're going to go over the blue post that Blizzard made about why they're changing this and that, and I'm going to give you my point of view about that as well. So let's get started. They're making some changes to Death Knights, Paladins, and Warriors and the way that we acquire extra dodge and parry through agility and strength. Agility isn't gonna give us any extra dodge rating anymore. They're gonna make it a fixed 5%. So if you want more dodge, you have to go for the secondary stat. On the other hand, strength is gonna give us 2% more parry rating. So everything above or base strength is gonna increase our parry chance like it normally did, but with an extra 2% added. Blood is unaffected in this patch, so no changes to tanking whatsoever. Frost and Unholy aren't getting that many changes. Having said that, the changes are still pretty huge. Obliterate's base weapon damage is being reduced from 160% to 150%. That's a 10% nerf on the base weapon damage on Obliterate. Might of the Frozen Waste, if you spec 3 points into that right now, that's going to increase your two-handed weapon damage by 12%. In patch 4.2, that's going to be reduced to 10%, so that's a 2% nerf right there. I was on the PTR, I was on the dummies, yeah, I know it's the dummies. But I was on the dummies, and I really couldn't see that big of a change in the numbers, to be honest. So I don't know what to make of it. I think maybe the patch notes just seem overwhelming with these numbers. I don't know. But at least I couldn't see that big of a deal or that big of a change in the numbers. Hungering Cold is getting a 1.5 second cast time added to it. It's affected by haste. As you can see on the screen right now on the PTR, my cast time is 1.45 seconds. I was on the PTR like 3 weeks ago, and back then you could move while casting Hungering Cold. You can't anymore. If you move or jump, you'll interrupt your own cast. You can use it to your advantage though. If you have a rogue on you and you want to get Hungering Cold off, you can try and fake cast him, let the rogue use his kick on you, and then get your Hungering Cold off afterwards. But you still have to be standing still in order to use it. Unholy is getting a huge buff. A huge buff. Unholy Might, that's something you get from just speccing into Unholy. Right now that gives you 5% strength. That's going to be buffed up to 20% strength. That's a big buff. So to all you guys that miss Unholy because you had to go from Unholy to Frost to deal a ton of damage in PvE, I'm predicting you can just go back to Unholy and be awesome in Unholy again. And I'm also predicting that Unholy is going to be really popular when it comes to PvP. Really popular. So I'm predicting we're going to see a lot of Unholy Death Knights again. Glyph of Dark Succor is being changed. Right now, whenever you use Death Strike, it heals you for 15% of your total health. It's being changed to work like Warrior's Victory Rush. Whenever you kill something that yields experience or honor, you'll be able to heal yourself for 20% of your total health by using Death Strike. Right now, on the PTR, as you see on the screen right now, I was healing myself for about 8.5k regardless. So you'll still be able to use Death Strike to heal yourself. Right now on live servers, there's a bug when you're dual wielding Frost, where your offhand doesn't always proc Killing Machine. That's being changed, that's being bug fixed in patch 4.2. So that's really good that they're actually doing something about this and changing it. Okay guys, it's time to look at what Blizzard has said about all these changes and their reasoning behind the Death Knight changes. I'm gonna take them step by step and give you my point of view about the whole thing as well. So let's start. Hungering Cold. Blizzard is saying that Hungering Cold is too powerful a CC. Although Hungering Cold has always been the way it is right now since the beginning of Wrath when the Death Knight class got introduced to the game. But one thing I disagree with is adding both a cast time and disabling us from moving whilst casting it. That feels like a double nerf to me. What I would have really loved to see them do instead is either just add a longer cooldown to it and shorten the duration on Hungry and Cold, that would have been perfectly fine by me. Or have the cast time and enabling us to move at the same time whilst we're casting Hungry and Cold. The second thing they're talking about is the Obliterate and Howling Blast nerf. They're actually saying that this has been hotfixed already, so you shouldn't see any damage reduction or anything once 4.2 hits the live servers. Blizzard is saying that the change to the Glyph of Dark Sucker was to prevent too much healing in PvP, and I completely have to agree with them. That glyph was just way OP. So I think this new change is really, really good. And it gives us something new, like, like a victory rush thing for our Death Strike. So that's kind of cool. I really like this change. Might of the Frozen Waste. They're saying that this change has been done to make dual wielding up to par with two-hand. For reals? Have they tried dual wielding at all, Blizzard? For reals? Dual wielding has really damn high damage. If that's the reasoning behind this, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's the dumbest excuse I've ever heard for a change. Blizzard is saying that the Unholy Might buff is being made in order to get Unholy up to par with Frost for PvE. Having said that, this is a huge buff, a really, really big buff, and that's gonna impact PvP as well. So I'm like, there's gonna be so many Unholy Death Knights in PvP again, and that's all fine and dandy and everything. But having said that, I don't really think they've thought this stuff through when it comes to PvP, especially with these nerfs coming to Frost. That can only mean that there's going to be a lot of Unholy Death Knights in PvP again, which is also a good thing, I guess, but I just don't think they put enough thought into this. Also, they're saying that they would like to have a discussion on how close two different specs have to be in order for people to just choose whatever spec they have fun playing. And I stress fun here, because how can people... Don't get me wrong here, guys, it's not... epic QQ time with Saber here, but it's just, how can people have fun with the game when they're constantly changing every other week? They're changing the specs around, they're adding hotfixes and nerfing this and that and buffing this and that. It doesn't make any sense. They can say that they would like to have this discussion, but that's not gonna be, that's gonna go ugly really damn fast. But the thing is, this is just my point of view here, guys, as well. There's always going to be one spec that's going to be more dominant than the other. That's just the way it is. And that's maybe because of stat priorities and shit like that. I don't know. But there's always going to be... They can't balance the game around all these things. They cannot balance it. And instantly when you see, like I said before, when you see one spec being nerfed and another one being buffed, especially when it comes to CC stuff and all that, you're gonna see people go back to what they were previously doing, going back to Unholy and going for that for PvE. Is this good for PvE? Yes, it is. It's really, really good, because now people can decide whether they want to go Frost or Unholy. And I agree with them, it's gonna bring it up to par, but for PvP, this is gonna impact the game in a completely different way than what they're saying that it's gonna do. This was it for me, guys. So thanks for watching. Remember, if you liked it, thumbs it up. If you didn't, thumbs it down. No ill will if you thumbs it down. But if you like it, please thumbs this video up and leave a comment on what you think about these changes and what you think about the video as well. This has been Zabermoul with TGN. Take care, guys.